sitters, or were run down by the drunken taxicabs of absolute reality, who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, this actually happened, and walked away unknown and forgotten into the ghostly days of Chinatown soup alleyways and fire trucks, not even one free beer, who sang out of their windows in despair, fell out of the subway window, jumped in the filthy Passaic, leaped on Negroes, cried all over the street, danced on broken wine glass barefoot, smashed phonographic records of nostalgic European 1930s German jazz, finished the whiskey and threw up groaning into the bloody toilet, moans in their ears in the blast of colossal steam whistles, who barreled down the highways of the past, journeying to each other's hot rod Golgotha jail solitude watch, or Birmingham jazz incantation, who drove cross-country 72 hours to find out if I had a vision, or you had a vision, or he had a vision to find out eternity, who journeyed to Denver, who died in Denver, who came back to Denver and waited in vain, who watched over Denver and brooded and loaned in Denver, and finally went away to find out the time, and now Denver is lonesome for her heroes, who fell on their knees in hopeless cathedrals praying for each other's salvation and light and breaths, until the soul illuminated its hair for a second, who crashed through their minds in jail waiting for the impossible criminals with golden heads and the charm of reality in their hearts, who sang sweet blues to Alcatraz, who retired to Mexico to cultivate a habit, or Rocky Mount to tender Buddha, or Tangiers to boys, or Southern Pacific to the black locomotive, or Harvard to Narcissus to Woodlawn to Daisy Chain or Grave, who demanded sanity trials accusing the radio of hypnotism and were left with their insanity in their hands and a hung jury, who threw potato salad at CCNY lecturers on Dadaism and subsequently presented themselves on the granite steps of a madhouse with shaven heads and harlequin speech of suicide demanding instantaneous lobotomy, who were given instead the concrete void of insulin, metrazole, electricity, hydrotherapy, psychotherapy, occupational therapy, ping pong, and amnesia, who in humorless protest overturned only one symbolic ping pong table resting briefly in catatonia, returning later truly bald except for a wig of blood and tears and fingers to the invisible madman doom of the wards and of the mad towns of the east, pilgrim states, Brahmins, and gracestones petted halls, bickering with the echoes of the soul, rockin' and rollin' in the midnight solitude bench of Roman realms of dream of life a nightmare, bodies turned to stone as heavy as the moon, and with mother finally, and the last fantastic book flung out of the tenement window, and the last door closed at 4 a.m., and the last telephone slammed at the wall in reply, and the last furnished room emptied down to the last piece of metal furniture. A yellow paper rose twisted on a wire hanger in the closet, and even that imaginary. Nothing but a hopeful little bit of hallucination. Ah, Carl, while you are not safe, I am not safe, and now you're really in the total animal soup of time. And who therefore ran through the icy streets, obsessed with a sudden flash of the alchemy of the use of the ellipse, the catalog, the meter, and the vibrating flame, who dreamt and made incarnate gaps in space and time through images juxtaposed, and trapped the archangel of the soul between two visual images, and joined the elemental verbs and set the noun and dash of consciousness together, jumping with sensations of pater omnipotens eterno deus, to recreate the syntax and measure of poor human prose, and stand before you speechless and intelligent, shaking with shame, rejected yet confessing out the soul to conform to the rhythm of thought in his naked and endless head. The madman, bum, and angel beat in time, unknown, yet putting down here what might be left to say in time come after death, and rose reincarnate in the ghostly prose of jazz in the gold-horn shadow of the band, and blew the suffering of America's naked mind for love into the Eli, lama, sabachthani, saxophone cry that shivered the cities down to the last radio, with the absolute heart of the poem of life butchered out of their own bodies, good to eat 1,000 years. Thank you. All right.